What is process and process management? There are different definitions for process and process management. We will first enumerate the definition of the process and then define business process management. Process definition. A process determines a way for the organization to achieve its strategic goals. A process has an internal, external customer or customers who uses its outputs. Processes are a set of activities that use the resources of the organization to achieve the desired results. Webster, a process is a special way of doing work that consists of several steps and activities. Definition of EFQM. A process is a sequence of activities which generate added value by producing the required output from a variety of inputs. Michael Hammer. A business process is a number of tasks that provide the customer desired value together. All companies are made up of combinations of processes. In fact, business processes are what companies and organizations do. According to ISO 9000, a process is a set of related or interrelated activities that convert input into output. A process may appear through a machine, a person, a computer, a chemical device, equipment, a set of tasks performed by the members of the organizations, and so on. Davenport, a process is a series of sequential activities that have specific input and output and a specific time and place. Hammer, a process involves a set of activities that convert one or more inputs into a specific output that is valuable to customers. Business process management defining. Understanding processes is the first essential step in business process management. BPM then provides the achievement of the organizational goals by improving and managing and controlling business processes. Today, process management prepares an appropriate way for continuous improvement. Many companies have learned from their experiences that process management is a powerful investment to confront the changeable needs of today's dynamic world. BPM is the achievement of the organizational goals by improving and managing and controlling business processes. Business process management is a type of management philosophy that focuses on improving the performance of the organization through business processes. Business process management is a systematic approach to identifying, designing, executing, documenting, monitoring and measuring automated and non-automated business processes. This approach is to achieve consistent and targeted operational results that align resources with the organization's strategic goals. Business process management is the way in which an enterprise aligns its business processes with a business strategy to achieve a goal. Effectiveness of overall performance of the enterprise through improvement in specific business activities, whether within a specific unit, within the enterprise, or between different enterprises. Where does BPM start establishing? One of the key steps at the beginning of the improvement project is to prioritize the improvement by senior executives and leaders. Prioritizing the improvement must be conducted from the top to the bottom of the organization. This top-down approach can change organizational culture in order to implement the improvement plan, create improvement mentality among all employees at all levels of the organization, and change activities aligned with the implementation of the improvement plan. Chang said that only by senior management supporting it can be overcome the resistance of the other managers and employees to establish a business process management approach. The relationship between BPM and strategy. Specific outputs will be obtained at the end of the process. These outputs are in fact our ideals and desired state. What should we do to move from the current situation to the desired situation? Yes, we need to plan for each of the targeted outputs. But what exactly is the dream of an organization? What is it set to do by the organization? We need a way at the same time it pays attention to our dreams, bring us closer to our short-term goals and to earn more today. This can only be done through strategic thinking and strategic management. Strategic management has 3 basic steps. 1. Strategic planning. 2. Implementation. 3. Strategic evaluation. In strategic planning, while determining our dream, for example, the vision of the organization, we identify the macro goals of the organization according to the philosophy of our organization or mission of the organization. In the following, macro goals are divided into more detailed goals. It is not our purpose to explain how to implement strategic management here. Therefore, I will not go into more details on this issue and will not begin the discussion of the strategy formulation. But I have a fundamental question. Despite the fact that many organizations have the appropriate knowledge and skills in strategic planning, why don't they succeed in achieving their set goals? Most organizations have some difficulties in implementing their programs. It is best to find a tool for implementing your strategic planning that has several important features. 1. The path to each goal and how to achieve it is clear. That way we know who should do what, when, and where to achieve each of the set goals. 2. It is clear the way to measure efficiency so that if we deviate from the main path, we can immediately notice the deviation and return to the main path to achieve the goal by correcting or revising our performance. 3. It is measured effectiveness of the work. We are measuring output by measuring effectiveness, therefore it is determined which path can lead to the goal and what thing will obtain by the organization. So far, we have specified the strategy, defined the goals as outputs and determined the general path to achieve these goals. The first point to define the goal is to provide a map called the process map. This map shows the areas of our business processes and shows us how our business works and how we can succeed in achieving profitability. The second point here is to determine the path to achieving the goals. In fact, this path is our business processes. These processes also determine the next level of business goals and make them easily measurable. But we need to go into more details and determine how each of the output is obtained exactly. It means we should determine the operational processes in order to identify the general path to achieve the goal, as well as the activities that need to be done step by step. That is, step by step we identify which activities and sequences of the activities leads to the goals. The implementation of each process leads to meet the organization's goals and achievements of the organization's output, in which way that precisely specifies who should do that, when and what order and where. More interestingly, all of these cases are measurable. This means that performance is measured in terms of both efficiency and effectiveness during the process, and we can easily have a management dashboard for our organization due to the specificity of the outputs and measurement indicators. Therefore, it can be said that strategy is a long-term behavior that is done through processes and by determining a set of actions that are coordinating with the organizations and leads to achieve the goals and the organization desired output. The relationship between BPM and structure. The age in which we live in a sense the age of organizations. In this period we encounter many large and small organizations. Most of our different needs are met by organizations. Of course, the relationship between process and structure in future companies will not only have wide dimensions but also have wider consequences. In this dynamic environment, a successful organization is one that, in addition to fulfill other conditions, uses the most appropriate structure according to its goals and capabilities. Also, considering its resources and capabilities, the successful organization seeks to produce outputs due to the customer needs and adds continuous value by keeping this way. The results of research and studies show that organizational structure, both now and in the past, is one of the key factors affecting the productivity of organizations. A structure can create or destroy an organization. In order to achieve growth and maturity, coordinating between business process and structure aiming to improve performance and productivity is an organizational necessity in the new age. It should be noted, with the growth of the organization, the creation of multiple departments and changing missions, it is necessary to change organizational structure. On the other hand, in this age of change, organizational agility is necessary to achieve growth, deal with environmental changes, fast and smooth transfer of creative ideas to enrich investment activities and create opportunities for profit and growth. One of the key ways for organizational agility is to create proper organizational structure and to get rid of the traditional structure. The traditional structure is an obstacle to agile and innovative movements because of its bureaucratic issues. Therefore, the development of an appropriate structure in accordance with the sequence of the activities, for example, process-oriented organizational structure, leaves quite clear impact on the agility, efficiency increasing, and effectiveness of human capital of the organization, in addition to economic effects. Proper organizational structure is essential to manage valuable human resources in accordance with the future goals of the organization and to achieve the goals through human capital management. Due to many changes in business over the decades, note that changing organizational structure will lead to changing business rules and regulations. The organization can adapt to these changes only if activities and processes has changed accordingly. In the following, we will get acquainted with the types of structures and describe the process-oriented structure, in addition to compare the task-oriented with process-oriented organization. Different types of organizational structure. 1. Task-based structure. 2. Production-based structure. 3. Structure based on areas of operation. 4. Project-based structure. 5. Matrix-based structure, treasury. 6. Process-based structure. Process-based structure. Process-based structure emphasizes horizontal organizational relations rather than public relations. All necessary functions or tasks to produce a product or service are concentrated in a common unit, usually run by a person called the process executive. In these types of structures, management levels and senior management teams are small, supervising only some key support services such as strategic planning, finance, and human resources. Process structure removes many hierarchical and sector boundaries that make coordination difficult and slow down the decision-making and implementation process. These structures reduce the high cost of managing relationships between departments as well as wide and long organizational hierarchies. These structures allow the organization to spend its resources to service customers more, whether to internal or external customers.